Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and it is literally pouring rain outside. I'm actually thinking you will probably be able to hear the thunder and lightning while I am still live. And fingers crossed I don't lose internet. So I figured, seeing as how it's like literally miserable outside, and I got my new paper pumpkin, the Autumn Abundance, I thought, why not put a set of cards together? So literally, I have not unboxed it even yet. So we're going to open it up. You guys know that I always work through the mistakes for you so you don't make them the same way I do. But so it actually arrived on the weekend. And unfortunately, it comes in the super cute little orange box. My box was like smush, almost the same size as my paper pumpkin kit on the inside. So we're not literally going to unbox it because I don't have the box anymore. So just a couple reminders. I did add the link in the video description. If you're in Canada and interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, this is a little bit different than the kits that are on the Stampin' Up website, right? So Paper Pumpkin is actually a subscription program. It comes to your doorstep once a month. You can pause your Paper Pumpkin subscription also. You can you can order like a monthly subscription or multiple like kits, like more than one package of Paper Pumpkin. It is, like I said, a subscription, but you can pause it if you want to, or you don't like the sneak peek of what's coming for the month ahead. What else did I want to say? You can pre-purchase a like prepay for 6 months, 3 months, 12 months. And today actually happens to be a free shipping day. So today with Stampin' Up, so today is actually September the 18th. And so you can actually get free shipping on a prepaid Paper Pumpkin subscription. But if you have any questions about that, just leave them in the comments below and I'll come back and answer them after. So let's add my desk in here and let's get creating before I get no lights or something crazy like that. I'm going to put myself up here in the corner. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask along the way. I'm just going to add some more light on this situation because, yes, it is very, very dark today. So it's so funny because this literally was not what it was supposed to be like. Let's make myself a little bit bigger. I don't know how I got so shrunk up there in the corner. But, okay, so Paper Pumpkin. So we're in like the September, right? So people are getting their September right now. But you can register or subscribe now for October. And I actually can't remember the name off the top of my head. I'll add it into the comments below of the name of the Paper Pumpkin for October. But so, there's always like a bonus or add-on that you can add, which are a set of thin cuts. And I had a lot of fun with these ones. I'm sure that you guys all saw Stampin' Up! Had actually posted this as like, I adapted it. It's not the same, but they posted like an alternative card using the thin cuts from this set of Paper Pumpkins. So the thin cuts coordinate with 3 months at a time, right? So the last one obviously is October. And it was called Every Celebration Dies. And so the leaf is obviously the one that coordinates with October. So September. Then this one was the one for August. And then this was the one for July, right? So the July paper pumpkin was super popular. It like sold out. Like, so what happens is if you subscribe, you can order extras after they send out the second batch of paper pumpkins. And it actually also coincided with a sale that they did on past kits. And like July was like gone in like no time. It was like that super pretty box. I assembled them live. But so these are great. They're not very expensive and they're kind of nice to have in your stash for using, right? So I just thought I would show you what I did as like my casing copy and altar of like so I think this was in like part of the advertising or somewhere. I did see it from Stampin' Up. So that was super fun. So I did like some ink smooshing in the background, and then I splattered it, and then I did some watercoloring on the flowers, and then added the hooray on there for a cute card. Okay, so like I said, my box got crushed, so we're gonna hope everything is still intact in here. The little ink spot for this month is Cajun Craze, which is totally like fall, right? So I've just grabbed my big one, and we're going, sorry, I got distracted by the stamp set. So let's actually open the kit. I did actually look at it and it looks like it's fine. Just the box was literally like smushed like crazy. So you don't get to see the pretty orange box this month. So that's okay. So like I said, we're going to, as everything starts to fall out. Okay, well, we might have something damaged there as we go, but we'll just check this out. Okay. So, trying to reach over to my garbage. Actually, the good news is it sounds like the rain has died down just a little bit. So, I think we've got 2 different size cards. So this is cute. Okay. See, I get so distracted. But the rain seems to stop, so hopefully we won't lose internet or power. Oh my goodness, this is fun. Holy smokes. Okay. So we have at least 3 different envelopes here. Let's see. Yeah, 3 different envelopes. So there must be like a 4x4 card for this envelope. And then there's this pretty one with the Cajun Craze on the inside, right? And then this pretty one too with the blue on the background. Okay, so I'm assuming this is the 4x4 card. How pretty is that? There's our stamp set. I'll just move that to the side. Oh, fun. Okay, so this has like copper foil on it, I'm assuming. Okay, these are super pretty. And this little guy is so cute. So there's the little snail, some mushrooms, the log, some leaves, a little banner here. And then look how pretty this card front is. Holy smokes. It's also got the fun little copper on the front here. We've got, our glue dots. I'll set those to the side. Some banners for stamping. Okay. Then obviously these are going to be like our sentiments. Again, same. It's got the really pretty gold foil. Okay, everything is good. These pieces of cardstock. It's not a piece of cardstock, Chris. The piece of board that they put in, I actually find it does keep everything pretty safe in there. I love that they, here we go, our dimensionals, right? And then some copper Cajun Craze. Okay. Pieces. Okay, so here is a look at the stamp set, because I know you guys won't be able to see it because it's like clear, right? But here we go. So there's one that says, thinking of you, sending autumn wishes your way with thanks. Some pretty leaves. These are the little pieces to make the snail, so you can make them in different colors, right? Super cute. And then this little twig. Okay, so my favorite part. So the contents, 9 cards and 9 envelopes, and the coordinating colors are Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Early Espresso, Night of Navy, Pecan Pie, Poppy Parade, Pumpkin Pie, Very Vanilla, and Wild Wheat. Okay, let's look at the instructions and get going. So because we have 3 different cards. Okay, so like I said, I will collect my supplies and we'll do 1 set of each. So I am going to set my envelopes aside for right now. But like I said, they're super pretty. And I love the fact that there's actually like a different size card in there too. That's super fun. Okay, we're going to put those over there. I'm never going to remember that's where I put them, but that's okay. Okay, so let's gather the supplies here. And I guess you don't need this here anymore. I just wanted to show you that, right? Like you can still use just like, and that is just the thin cut pieces or the dies, nothing from any of the kits. So don't think that when you add on the dies that you're not going to be able to use them in other ways, right? So that is just, that's none of the pieces. Like I used none of the pieces from the past paper pumpkin, right? So this is just paper, right? And I use different pieces of paper to create it. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask and I will answer them after if I can figure out what I did there. It's been a while now. Okay, so we're going to do the card number 1 is one of the 4x4s. So we need this piece and this piece. And then as far as die cuts go, we need the mushroom, the snail, the piece of wood, so that. Then we need this for our sentiments. And then from here, we need this piece. And so we have, and that one. Okay, that's not on here. Oh, here it is. It's got the little bit of copper on it. So we need 1 of these. And I love that they always give you 1 extra sentiment spot, right? So that if you make a mistake, you have an extra one for snapping on. But always you could just also cut a piece of cardstock if you ever made a mistake. Okay, so those are all our pieces for card number 1. Then card number 2 is this super pretty one with the florals. Okay, so we don't need those pieces anymore. We need 1 of these. Okay, and then we need a round for thinking of you. And we need 2. So I'm assuming it's these blue branches and the wild wheat ones. You guys, this is actually super pretty. I think this would be super easy to also alter very easily if you wanted to, but I have a feeling they're going to be pretty just the way they are. Okay, so then the last one is this super fun one with the big piece of wood. Those other bases aside. So this one gets all the rest of the pieces, right? So we need 3 leaves. I already have one started here. Here we go. 3 leaves. This banner. These 3 leaves. Okay. That we can set aside. So you also could keep these pieces if you wanted, so that if you made like a stamping mistake and needed to fix it, this is obviously like the exact match versus trying to cover it up with cardstock. Okay, then we need 2 of these. One like that and one like this. This metallic is so pretty, and it's at like it. I know it's not going to show up on camera, but like it's got these super thin slices in it. So it's crazy what they can do with some of their paper pieces. Okay, then we need a long banner. And I just need to put that on there so it doesn't get crushed. Okay, so this long banner. Okay, progress. We have all of our pieces together. This is, like I said, a perfect project for today. So I'm just going to put all my pieces behind me in case I forgot something. Okay, so let's start with card number 1. Oh, there's extra pieces. That's like yesterday. If you guys watched my live yesterday, I lost a pumpkin on my desk and it was literally sitting in the middle of my project. Okay, so we need to stamp. So let's open this up. And when you start your subscription to Paper Pumpkin, you do get a block. So you always have that for like your projects going forward, right? This is a little bit of a delicate stamp, so I'm going to just put it down and pick it up. And I did grab really quickly before I started a piece of scratch paper, and we will test it. Okay, so for those of you guys watching live or on the replay, I would love to know who has subscribed to Paper Pumpkin and how long have you been a subscriber? Okay, that's super pretty. So have you just started? Have you been doing it for years? Some people that have watched my Paper Pumpkin assemblies have had it for years. So I am obviously very new, and that is I just started in the spring with the switch over to Stampin' Up. Okay, so first we're going to just stamp this right here like that, and then we're going to stamp our sentiment that says sending autumn wishes your way. Okay, so I'm going to actually grab, so when you start your Paper Pumpkin, right, you get a block like that. Okay, so we're going to test it. Oh, so pretty. Okay, so we have our little sentiment here. I love that there's so many different things that people do with Paper Pumpkin too, right? Like you can make alternative cards. You can use them on scrapbooking pages, right? There's like no rules that you have to do it like this. I always do, like I said, just like to assemble one so that I know all like the parts and pieces and how they're actually supposed to go together before I start playing around with something else. Okay, so this piece gets glue dots, and I love that they're like you can distinguish between the glue dots and the dimensionals. So this, I'm going to add glue dots in all the corners. This would make a great like holiday gift for somebody that you want to introduce to crafting, or maybe like can't get out so much in the winter, right? So then we're going to add 2 on the back of here. Like I said, this is a perfect project for a rainy day, right? So I can think of lots of instances where they would be good for people. I think it's super good to, so good for people to craft. Hey, Dorothy. So, like I said, this is so pretty. Okay, so, and I love that they literally tell you where to put all the adhesive. And I do actually like these little glue dots that are on the sheet. Okay, and we just need 1 over here and 1 over here. And then these all need dimensionals. Like I said, I think that there's so many benefits to crafting, it's not even funny. I'm sure we could go on and on and on about them, right? And there's so many ways to be able to like participate with online crafting, especially since the pandemic, right? Like that has just like gone crazy. So it's nice to sometimes not feel like you're just crafting by yourself. So we're going to put 3 on the little snail here. And put 3 on this wood log. And 3 on the little mushroom here. Okay, so let's just, yeah, like I said, I love the fact that it's kind of a different size in the card too. And I actually think there's some fun things coming up for the next series of cards too. So just so you know, in the little sneak peeks. So we'll take off the glue dots. Like, I love the fact too that like there's just specific Facebook groups for paper pumpkin people, right? So this just goes on the inside. With our little branch sticking out. Okay, so then it looks like we put this one on. And if you're not interested in a subscription too, right, then there are the other kits that Stampin' Up! Does that are just like the monthly kits, and they're kind of just different things. There's some fun ones this month, right? So this kind of just goes right around that circle. Then we'll add our sentiment. Right, there's the card, the ornament, Christmas ornament, which would be a fun project to do with a group of friends. And then there's also the card keeper thing box. So you create like a grouping of like generic cards, and then you can store them in your box. Okay, so it's the wood log now. I liked the fact that one of the sneak peeks I saw, there is something different coming for Paper Pumpkin in the next quarter too. So this piece, we're gonna kind of put it like right here. And then our pretty branches or leaves or whatever you want to call them. So there's kind of a little bit of something for everybody. I know lots of people do like a online or in-person kit night. That's kind of fun, right? With your friends. I'm going to add it like right about here. So, and then there's a dot underneath this one, so it just touches down there. We'll add our mushroom. Okay, this is super cute. Just going to say. We'll put the mushroom on here. So, right, you got all sorts of different textures going on. And that little copper is very pretty on there too. Okay, and then our little snail, which after all my rain today, we might see snails in the backyard. I'm just going to say. Goes right about here. Okay, so how stinking cute is that? Right? So fun. Okay, let's just whip right along here. Okay, I like when they do this too. So we're going to add to the pre-printed background, which is super pretty. We're going to add some stamping. So it's the same one we did before. Right? It's just all about like adding all of those little personal touches. Like who wouldn't like to get that in the mail? So, and this one just says, thinking of you is the sentiment we're going to use on this one. So we're going to stamp this kind of up here. Filling in that space. And then once down here, right about here. Also need to clean this off because I've got some extra ink on there. You guys, I've got to say, I think this might have been perfect timing too, because the thunder and lightning has definitely stopped for a few minutes. Okay, so then we have our little circle here, and we're going to put stamp thinking of you. So I'll add this onto a block. I have the advantage of having a lot of blocks sitting in front of me, right? So I can just leave mine on there and then just clean up at the end. But you don't need to have more than the block. That's, you guys, there's something underneath there. There we go. Okay. So we're going to, these will all get dimensionals, and this just gets dots. So we're going to add, as this is quite a dark color, I think we should probably close it up in between, right? So I'm going to add some dots on here. And then we'll add our dimensionals onto these two. And I love that the leaves are like kind of different colors than you would normally think of in like fall foliage, right? I don't know that if I was like instantaneously going to create something fall-like, that this would be like my go-to color combination. So it's always fun kind of when they do something a little bit different, right? So I'm going to have to remember this color combination for future use. The blue is very pretty in there. I would say. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. I've never actually seen them do that before, where they're like, so use a tiny, like cut in half your dimensional on there. So we can also, we're just going to cut a little piece from the outside instead of cutting up one of our dimensionals. And I think that'll fit just as well on there. Okay. We got our pieces ready to go. So now I'm sure our ink is dry on the front. And I do have to say always, right, too, the other thing is that they are way prettier in person than they ever are in a photograph, no matter what it is, right? It's like when you look at something in the catalog too, right? It's super hard to judge because I always find that it's way nicer when you actually have it in your hands. Okay, so right about here. And then we'll do the blue one first. And it kind of just overlaps the sentiment just a little bit. And also these are little tiny things, right? So some designer has designed this. Pay attention to the little things that they're doing, right? That's always a good thing to then bring into like your own projects, right? So by overlapping that, right, it kind of ties everything together on the card. So there's lots of details that really make a huge difference. Now we have I think this is probably wild wheat leaves. And again, right, it's just kind of touching the edge of the sentiment and filling in the space on the other side. So there we go, card number 2. Super pretty. Okay, so let's do card number 3. This one. See, and they've used like the stamp on all of the cards. This one with the foliage, right? The little branches. So this is, and 2, right? So we've got a different size, and then we've got a portrait, and then we have a landscape card. And this one is so pretty. So on the front, right, you have this, and then that's the back of it too. Super pretty. Okay, so we're going to stamp with this first. And I kind of like the fact that, right, so these are all just extras. You could also use them on that card that I showed you before too. Right, you could rejig this so that it had more of a fall feel with the extra stamps in here, so you can make your own snail. Okay, so we're going to wipe that edge. And we'll do one here. It's actually quite low. And then one here. So once you also become a subscriber too, then you can order refills for like current or past kits, as long as there's still some available. Like I said, right, that July one went really quickly, so there were like none of those left. Or you can, if you give a lot of cards, right, just get more than one subscription too. Okay, I just wanted to clean that up because Cajun Craze is quite dark and I am quite clumsy. So you all know I do end up with ink in places that I do not need ink. Okay, so then We have the other sentiment here, the with thanks. And just going to add that on a block. And let's test this one with nothing underneath it. Also, I find it really good to like prime a stamp, right? I find that after you use it, it works better. That's just what I have found. So, with thanks. There we go. Clean that ink up. And let's close this up because we are done with it. And I'm actually going to just use a wet wipe and clean my hand. There we go. Okay. So let's do our adhesive pieces. Okay, so there we go. You guys, like I said, these are so pretty in real life, the copper ones. Okay, so we have 3 of these oak leaves. I think that's what they are. And they're going to get 2 dots on each of them. If you had your own adhesive, right, you could totally just use your own adhesive. But I do like the fact that you don't really need to have anything else, right? When you get your block and your first one, you are set to go. And like I said, I'm sure I've said it on here before, the blocks that you get are I really quite like them. So we're going to add 2 on the bottom of the with thanks because it's going to overlap. And one of these leaves is flat, so that's this yellow one. So, and there's spaces to hide your dots. And then these things get dimensionals. And they are right here. So, same thing. You can hide the dimensionals. And like they totally think through all of those things, right? The spots to hide the dimensionals. All of those fun things. Okay, and then 3 at the top here. And we are almost done. Okay, so we're going to adhere this to this. Oh, and I need dimensionals on this one. Sorry. There we go. 1, 2, and 3, my friends. Then when we take these off, that's funny, my pickup tool, half of it just went flying onto the floor. Hopefully we will not need that part. So we're going to adhere these 2 pieces together first. But not crooked, Chris. There we go. Okay, so now this one, we're going to set down first. I'm going to put it right about here. Then let's do this yellow and orange one. Just right about here. And our other one's going to go over here. Like, and just think about how quick these are versus, right, like having to stamp and die cut all your own pieces. So these are definitely, let's just, okay, so I think they have this one. They might have put this one down first. So we're just going to tuck it underneath here, like so. And then this goes on last. So let's do our yellow leaf. Tucked into this little cluster here. And then our one with dimension. We'll put it right here. Get rid of that dimensional backing there. And now our sentiment, and then we're all done. Also, just think too, right? No different than when I said pay attention to what the designers have done, right? You could use these as like inspiration for your own cards too. So like a different set of cards. There we go. Okay, guys, that one's super pretty. Okay, so that is it. We assembled all 3 of the September 2024 paper pumpkin cards. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Thank goodness the rain held off, and actually it has stopped raining. It's still super dark. It's supposed to rain like all day long. But like I said, I just thought that would be a fun project for this rainy day here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project, and we'll talk to you later, guys. Bye-bye.